Hello everyone, welcome back to this video series on Introduction to R Programming for Clinical SAS Programmers. In this series, we are exploring SAS programming feature alternatives in R Tidyverse package. In the previous videos, we have seen how to subset observations and how to subset variables. In this video, we will see how to subset observations and variables in a single step. So let's say we have this input dataset which has 6 rows and 5 variables. So name, sex, age, height and weight. Of these 6 observations, there are 3 females and 3 male students, from which we want to subset only male student observations, and we are not interested in the sex variable because this subset is only for males, so we do not want to keep the sex variable in the output dataset. So how do we do it in SAS? So we can make use of where statement, and we can filter for male students by specifying the condition where sex is equal to M on the statement. And at the same time, within this same step, we can drop the variable which is of not interest for us, which is in this case sex. So here we are specifying the variable sex on the drop statement. So after the observations are subset, the variable sex is also not returned to the male dataset, which means we are subsetting observations and variables in a single step. So let us see how this can be done in R. So here we just need to understand this syntax wherein we are using something called as piping here in our programming language. So here, how do we read this syntax is create a new dataset called males by using class dataset and then passing it on to the filter function. So as we are passing the class dataset using piping function to the filter function, we do not need to specify the name of the input dataset as the first argument. So that is understood internally. So we have seen in the previous video of like where we were subsetting observation, we have specified the name of the input dataset as first argument to the filter function. But if we use pipe, so we are specifying the name here previously. So we are specifying that use class, pass it on to the filter function. So the name of the input dataset is understood internally. And then we are specifying the filter condition. So we were interested in subsetting only for males. So we are specifying the equality condition using two equal to signs, and we are also making sure that the variable name is in the same text case as in the dataset. And then we are filtering for male students. And then the resulting filtered dataset is still further passed on to the select function. So we have seen in the previous video wherein we were subsetting the variables. If we want to drop a specific variable, we can specify the minus sign before the name of that dataset. So the subsetted male dataset is further passed on to the select function wherein we are dropping the variable sex from it. So the resulting output would be this. So let us now move to the demo of this. So let us open SAS and RStudio side by side. So here I am creating my sample data wherein I have. So let me clear this my temporary dataset which I already had in my library. So let's run this piece of code which actually creates our input dataset, which is having 6 observations and 5 variables. From this we are interested in subsetting for male students and also dropping the variable sex. So how can we do that? We can just run this piece of code wherein we are filtering the observations using where statement and dropping the unwanted variables using drop statement in SAS. So let us run this piece of code and then see how the output looks like. So here we now have only the male student records, like we have the 6, we had 3 male student records, and we have also dropped the variable which was 6. So now we have 4 variables and 3 observations. Let us see how this actually works in our listing. So let me clear the temporary dataset which were there in here in the studio environment. So I am recreating this class dataset by clicking on this run button. So I have my class dataset which has 6 observations and 5 variables. So now I am using class dataset as input and passing it on to filter function and filtering the records where sex value is equal to M, and then passing on the resulting dataset into the select function and in which I am dropping the variable sex. So I am specifying, in order to drop a variable, we need to name the variable and just add a minus sign before it. So let us select this piece of code and then run the code. So now if we see, now male's dataset has 3 observations and 4 variables. So out of 6 records, 3 were male, so we are expecting 3 observations. And out of all the 5 variables present, we are dropping 6, so we are expecting 4 variables. So let us quickly open the dataset and see if this is what we are looking for. Yes, this is the case. Thank you for watching and keep learning.